Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good this morning. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. If you guys haven't checked out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, make sure you go and do that. Completely free to join. You can find the link to that in the description below and also at the top of the chat, so you can't miss it. Chat with myself, other traders, join the community, and of course, you can find your discount codes there for your next Elevating Traders Challenge. So make sure you go check that out. Link in the description and at the top of the chat to that. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is well this Friday. It's been an interesting week, I must say. Seen some nice movement in the market, which is for traders always a good thing if you're on the right side of it, of course. But what's up, CS Integrated? Welcome to the stream. Yep, dollar is looking very, very strong. Huge jump to the upside. Yeah, things are moving very interesting. We'll go through a bunch of USD pairs to start things off. Himanshu, I will get through Euro Pound and Pound entity, but please do not spam the chat or I'll have to remove you. But I will take a look at those pairs. What's up, Naika? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. I appreciate that. CS Integrated. Yeah, please not spam the chat. I will get to it. Don't you worry. But I'll start with USD as always. And yeah, rightly so, because that is moving like crazy right now. You can see USD is looking exceptionally bullish. Price is trading above that resistance, which I've been talking about so much. And it's Friday today, which means we're going to get a candle closure. So I'm going to see how we do get that candle closure. The weekly time frame is a very important time frame for me, not necessarily in terms of trading, but in terms of analysis and what we could do the following week and where momentum lies and where possibly the longer term bias is. And a strong close above this level might instigate a lot more upside. Now, at the moment, if we close like this or even slightly higher up, say we close up there, that for me isn't necessarily pivotal because I wouldn't be too surprised to see the next candle come right back underneath. It's not clear enough breakout, which I would be 100% be looking to buy. But what I would say is I wouldn't be looking to sell anymore. And that'll be very, very clear to see if we do see a close above this on the weekly candle. By the end of today, I will not be looking to anticipate downside until we show evidence of price coming back underneath that same level. Like I said, not necessarily looking to buy, but definitely not looking to sell if that's the case. So we'll be keeping a close eye on this candle, how it closes later today. And that will literally set the bias up for next week, or at least not let me be bearish on USD. But yeah, at the moment, in terms of intraday momentum, things are still looking very, very bullish. I said yesterday it would be nice if price was maybe fake the high of the consolidation and then potentially bleed to the downside. We did take the high, but no evidence of us coming back in, and we just look absolutely bullish this morning. So yeah, I mean, at this point in time, price is just so bullish, I wouldn't be looking to do anything. If you're in some longs, great. If you're looking to short, I would definitely hold your horses. Yeah, because who knows how far this momentum can go. There's one thing to say is that USD is just so bullish and so stretched. I do expect it to eventually contract and have a bigger pullback. But trying to find that out with some short trades is always going to be very difficult going against this kind of momentum. So yeah, with USD looking so bullish, it's difficult to do anything really. If you're in some longs, great. If you're looking to short, I would be very, very patient with that. Euro USD, of course, doing the exact opposite. Really strong move to the downside. We had this consolidation for most of the week, looking for us to dip down and then push up. Didn't see that momentum sustain at all. And now if you go to the weekly chart, again, we're seeing similar characteristics of price breaking through this level of support now. Again, potentially going to get a strong weekly candle close underneath. That will make me not bullish anymore. Not necessarily looking for sells because the market's still a little bit stretched. I still need some bigger pullbacks before I can short myself. But it will put to bed my bullish bias, I would have to say. And possibly we could be looking at move back down to this low for the next however many weeks, however many months. We could be seeing Euro USD plummet back to 0.97 beyond parity. So it could be a lot of downside coming up for Euro USD. This could be the catalyst for that. And I will 100% be looking for pullbacks on the way down. I need a little bit more from Euro before I start looking to short. Like I said, the market is just a little bit too bearish for me to be looking to sell. I like to take bigger pullbacks in the market. I don't necessarily look for smaller pullbacks. So now's not the time for me to be looking for entries, but yeah, looking very, very bearish. And really where my main focus is on the weekly candle close, to see how we close by the end of the week, if that momentum sustains, or maybe this afternoon. I know we got some minor USD news this afternoon. Do we push back up? That's a possibility as well. And then that will really change things. If price was to see another 4-hour candle close back above here, that will leave a big wick on the weekly time frame. And at that point, you're probably looking for a bit of upside next week. So things can look very, very different very, very quickly. At the moment, a lot of bearish momentum. Like I said, if you're not kind of long dollar or short euro, I wouldn't be looking to do anything here. It's just very, very difficult to get any trades in at the moment. Pound USD doing something similar, but not as much as euro. Actually, it is as much as euro. I was not expecting that. Yeah, pound USD is looking very, very bearish as well. Of course, USD is strong, so pound USD is going to be pushing down, but euro is very, very weak the past couple of days. So I thought euro would be pushing a lot further, but no, pound USD is looking really bearish as well. This one's breaking through structure like it's nothing. Broke through this low with ease. Even broke through this low with ease as well, and broke through this low with ease. You know, is it going to go break through this low too? We'll potentially find out very, very soon. I have to say it's looking really bearish on the higher time frames as well. For pound USD, are we going to head back to the low here? Maybe. Weekly charts looking really bearish. It looks like we've broken through that trend line, or we're breaking through the trend line, I should say. And that could be the catalyst for a lot more downside. So yeah, it's not looking good for pound, not looking good at all. I think the pullbacks on the short side still look good. I was talking about some shorts on the retest of this low, but does not look like we're going to get that. But I would say shorts on the retest of that consolidation are starting to look pretty attractive now, because we've really left behind this consolidation, really strong move to the downside. So if we can keep this up, the chances are we could be seeing a retest of that for more downside. It's difficult to be looking for buys in these conditions for pound, I must say. Yes, we do expect to see a bigger retracement at some point, but I would not be surprised if we're going to head back to this low here for pound USD. So in my opinion, pullbacks and shorts look the best bet, especially if USD is going to break that high and sustain above those prices, above 107. 500. We could probably see a lot more upside for USD next week. And then, of course, pairs like pound USD, you're looking for downside. So this becomes a nice setup now. The retest of the low does not look like we can get the retest of 1.285, but something like this might be a nice opportunity. Probably not for today, but maybe early next week, we might see that retracement into that level. And then, yeah, some more downside. The market's just bleeding at the moment. So if you're intraday looking to ride momentum, you just want to be focused on shorts, really. Because yeah, looking too long is always going to be very, very difficult. As we take a look at dollar CAD's having that bounce. And to be honest, it did kind of stop out a lot of people before that bounce. We were talking about some buys early in the week over here. We did see a nice push only to come and test this area before price came back down. Swept the lows there, and now it's looking pretty bullish as well. I mean, it's still held into that level. So if you did get taken out, it would just be another re-entry signal, really. Yeah, now we're looking bullish again, coming back into this area. So again, if you were long, I think this is a smart area to secure some profits, since we did reject that area pretty well last time. But yeah, if USD is going to be strong, then dollar CAD's got a good chance of coming back to the high there as well. So maybe a situation of banking some profits and leaving the rest to run back to the high at 1.41. But yeah, it does look like we're probably going to see continuations for dollar CAD. I think because CAD's been a little bit strong as well. So dollar CAD's had a little bit of trouble pushing up compared to the other USD pairs. If you take a look at Aussie dollar, so this one not looking as bearish. Aussie hasn't been as weak as euro and pound. I think pound, Aussie, euro, USD, all those type of currency pairs are falling. So euro and pound are just very, very weak at the moment. But Aussie dollar is doing a pretty good job at holding on to this low. This was a low we were talking about for the retest. It performed pretty well. Price almost came back for another one, looking pretty bearish. I do think there's still a little bit more downside anyway for Aussie dollar, as we've been speaking about a retest of the lows here. down at 0.64. So I still do see Aussie dollar falling back to that area, retested that low. Looks like we're on our way. Ends the USD, similar situation. For this one, looks like we're going to come back to the low here. I was talking about possibly a U-turn at this level, but price did not hold that level at all. Well, we did see a brief bounce, but that double bottom I was hinting at yesterday, no confirmation of that. Price just broke through. Looks like it had a retest this morning, so probably going to keep falling at least back to 0.58 now. I still do think eventually we're going to have that bigger reaction, but it's just very difficult to look to the long these USD pairs with USD being so strong. And of course, going on to your lovely gold and silver. Gold, last time I checked, just storming to the upside. Yeah, been looking to short gold this week, but literally no confirmation, and gold has just been absolutely flying. So I managed to dodge that bullet. But yeah, gold's looking exceptionally bullish, which is funny because USD is also very bullish as well. So yeah, that goes to show you that correlation isn't always 100% between the DXY and gold. Fundamentally, a lot of things play into that. What drives gold's price? Yes, USD being weak will help gold be strong, but if there's certain external situation that will cause people to buy gold, doesn't really matter what USD is doing, gold's going to go up, and we're seeing evidence of that. We saw evidence of that with Russia, Ukraine, COVID as well. So times of fear, gold's going to be bought heavily, and we're just seeing price push up like it's nothing really. So it's difficult to short gold. And I did say yesterday that if gold does break the high here, I would not be looking to short at all. And looks like we're about to go and do that, to be honest. So I'm going to be relaxing that bearish bias on gold, and maybe we are just going to push back to the highs at 2780, 2790, and maybe beyond. I'm still hanging on to my silver position, which is actually doing quite well now. We're seeing some upside momentum. And the fact that I haven't got short on gold means that I'm just going to hold into the silver position, really, because that was the original plan. I was looking to short gold and then close silver. And if I didn't get a chance to short gold, I'll just hold on to silver. So I'm just going to be holding on to silver, and it's doing all right. We're kind of sideways most of the week, but we're seeing some nice momentum now. And hopefully with gold pushing, silver's going to start to push and go and break the highs and get to where I'm looking for price to get to, which is the area up there, which lines up really well with that daily level on the left around 32. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD. It's just very, very strong. I'm kind of waiting for the weekly candle to close to confirm things for next week. Really, I'm not trying to look to do anything too much with USD at the moment. Yeah, the main USD pair I was looking to get involved this week was gold, and gold's just been too bullish to short anyway. So besides from that, nothing really to report on, of course, apart from managing silver. So yeah, USD impressive momentum, I must say, very, very bullish. And the weekly candle is going to paint a big picture of what's next to come. Whether we get a strong close above or we leave behind the big wick, we'll find out this afternoon. What's up, retail? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. Okay, gold. Yeah, we just had a look at gold. Gordon, what's up? Hope you're doing good. No problem. I'm happy you find it useful and informative. I appreciate that, Gordon. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It does really help out. What's up, Jay Fenner? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD. Very, very, very volatile, the markets this week. If you look at some of the indices as well, see what's happening with them, with all the strength of USD. See, the funny thing is with USD strength, you would expect the indices and major index like S&P 500, NAS to be on the down, and they sort of are this morning. To be honest, they are pushing down. This is S&P 500 is looking bearish this morning. US 30, are we looking a little bit bearish too? A little bit, but we were pretty bullish yesterday. Look at that, wow! And NAS 100. A little bit bearish this morning as well. So, but again, it's not proportional. With that big move on USD, you expect to see a bigger move down there for the indices. I mean, overall, the market is still bullish. I would still be bullish on the indices as well. As 100 still give me higher highs and higher lows. I know you're just taking out some major structure, giving us some all-time highs. I still do think price is going to find support and continue a lot higher. Looking at S&P 500, that's still trading inside that channel very, very well. This one could come a little bit further down as well before continuing up. And US 30, that's doing a good job at trading in that channel. Yeah, very, very well. This one kind of found support halfway, so I wouldn't really be looking to get involved there at all. And now we're kind of trading at the upper end of things. So if US 30 was to come back down to go and test this low, I think that would be a really nice buy probably in a week or two from now, because we are still pretty far away. But we're doing a really good job trading this channel. We've seen multiple tests of the lower and upper end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're looking at number 6 as we come into that channel there. So just expecting more upside now with US 30. Maybe it's time for a bit of retracement first, but overall, I do expect us to keep pushing up. But yeah, maybe with the USD strength we see now, we might see price push down first and have that retracement. At the moment, I'm still currently in my 2 positions. So silver we just looked at, and I'm still currently in CAD yen, which is being a little bit choppy, back and forth a little bit, but overall it's doing okay. Seeing some nice downside this morning, although it was looking bullish at one point though. But it looks like we are holding on to that high. And again, I'm still very, very bearish with the yen pair, so I'm expecting big drops. CAD hasn't been the better yen pair to trade because CAD has been pretty strong, but is one of the better technical setups, so that's why I chose it. But if you look at euro yen, for example, I know this one's falling out the sky. Yeah, looking very, very bearish. Look at the movement this morning. Yeah, really strong move down. I know pound yen is looking very weak as well. Yeah, big move to the downside. So the yen pairs are starting to look bearish. We'll go into a lot more detail with them. But again, the idea with the CAD yen position was really looking to anticipate another wick on the weekly time frame. So if I go to the weekly, remove my drawings actually, you can see that the past few weeks here, 1 week, wick sounds like sounds the similar word, but this weekly candle here left a big wick to the upside, minor wick there as well, really big wick there, really big wick there last week. So I was anticipating another wick again this week. And as you can see, where we're trading is an area where a lot of wicks are present because it's a very sturdy, strong level of resistance in the higher time frames. And the overall idea is as well is that we're looking for the continuation of that momentum there from July. So if this is the pullback of that move, and now we're starting to see evidence of price running out of steam, I'm expecting price to push back down. So the idea was that we've had a big, strong move up. Price was looking very bullish at one point when I was entering. But if that is going to be the high of the week, which there was a pretty good chance it was, because you can see all the wicks, they're kind of accumulating in similar places. And the fact is we're trading with this massive level of resistance here as well. You know, there's a good chance that that is going to be the high of the week. So that's why I shorted up there with the stop loss above the high. Again, a little bit more aggressive trade because you are kind of going against the momentum, which is to the upside. But when we are moving corrective like this, you're expecting price to eventually roll over to the downside. This is not really sustainable price action. This is a very corrective ascending channels, which, you know, most of the time do eventually collapse the downside. So there's a lot of downside potential with this trade, which is why I'm only going to be looking to book some profits at the low and let the rest trail, knowing that potentially we could see a move all the way back down to this low. Because if I do go back to the weekly chart quickly, you know, this is going to be your head and shoulder pattern with your left shoulder over there, your head over there, and possible right shoulder now. You know, you're expecting a push back into the neckline, which is, you know, pretty much this level of support around 105. So there's a lot of downside for us to move into if we do hold this level. And if that is the high, of course, then yeah, there's a lot of downside. So I'm happy to take the trade, happy to take the risk. If it does play out, you know, you're looking at a really, really healthy trade there. So we'll see how that goes into the rest of the week, and of course the week after as well. The only not great thing about shorting yen pair is the swap cost is a little bit high. So that's the awkward thing with shorting yen pairs. But hopefully I don't have to stay in the trade for too long because normally the sells normally have a lot of momentum, normally they play out a lot quicker than the buys. So, but yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see with that one. But so far, looking okay. Hopefully, you can get a bit more downside this afternoon. Maybe even hit the target if the yen pairs have a little sell-off like we did last Friday. That would be nice. What's up, Ben? Welcome to the stream. Yep, stocks down, gold up, yen up, dollar up. That's like a very big risk-off bid. What's happened? Yeah, I agree. What's up, Will? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, it does look like things are lining up. USD strong, gold strong. We're seeing dips on the major stock markets as well. And yen is strong too. So it does look like is that kind of time of fear a little bit. And of course, you forgot about crypto as well. Crypto's on the up too. I don't know about this morning. Is price up this morning on Bitcoin? Okay, a little bit down, but overall, the past kind of 24 hours was still very much up. But Bitcoin is having a little bit of a dip there. But yeah, overall, it is very, very risk off, I would say. Very risk off. What's up, Henry? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good. Is anyone in any trades to end off the week? Hoping silver momentum will pick up now because gold has been absolutely flying. And silver hasn't really done that yet. So I'm kind of like, what's the hold up? What's going on? Let's move silver. Because the whole point of holding onto that silver position, well, not the whole point, but a part of the reason holding onto the silver position is if I don't get a short on gold, I'm expecting silver to fly as well. And gold has been absolutely soaring, but silver taking its sweet time. Unfortunately, I'm hoping maybe you can end Friday with a bit of a bang to the upside. But yeah, that gold short idea just did not come into play at all. The market's just been absolutely flying. Was actually looking to short from here, broke through, had like a minor retest in the lower time frames, and just been soaring since then. Looks like we're about to go and take up this high here on the left. This was the lower high, which gave us that low. Looks like price about to break through that. And if that's the case, I will not be looking to sell gold at all anymore. At that point, we're probably going to see something like this happen, which is a bit more like a V-shaped reversal, which I'm pretty sure Ben mentioned yesterday. Big impulse down, big impulse up. Probably going to see a minor correction, and you're going to see the continuation. And that probably will take us back to the highs there at 27.90. So yeah, it's looking very bullish for gold right now, and very, very surprising. I was not expecting that, especially after last week's candle. We've actually engulfed last week's candle. Last week's candle was looking so bearish. This candle just absolutely trounced it. So probably going to get more upside next week as well. Maybe a bit of a correction, maybe first half of the week, and then we see the continuation. But yeah, looking really, really bullish. And surprisingly, we probably are just going to come back to the highs now. We probably are. What's up, Natural Therapy? Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'll go take a look at Euro Pound. Which I need to forget, to be fair. I'll go take a look at Euro Pound and Pound NZD for you. Ben, long DAX. Okay, long DAX. Nice. Okay, we'll go take a look at DAX as well. Let me go through Euro Pound and Pound NZD first. So, okay, yeah, makes sense because of Euro being its craziness. I wasn't expecting that though. But yeah, the plan for Euro Pound for me this week anyway. I mean, I wasn't looking to trade Euro Pound. But if I was going to trade it, it was going to be the retest of the low here for some buys. Still looking to use that big fake out to our advantage. Of course, knowing where we're trading on the monthly chart, which is in a massive level of support. I'm looking for price to find a bit of a bounce here to anticipate some upside. So I'm pretty bullish on Euro Pound. And it looks like we're still just about holding on to that level, although that wick would have done a good job at stopping out a lot of traders. So maybe we're going to use that to advantage again and see some more upside. But yeah, I would be pretty bullish on Euro Pound. You said you're long from Euro Pound from current price and short Pound NZD. Suggest take profit stop loss. So you want me to suggest take profit stop loss for both your positions, I presume? It's a tricky one with euro pound because you could put it underneath the wick there, but then you're looking at a really big stop loss, probably unnecessarily big as well. I'd probably say I'll just have it underneath the level there. The price is going to start trading underneath again. It's probably going to head down anyway, so I don't think you need a stop loss underneath there. You can probably do with it there as well. And it'll save you a good 40, 50 pips there too. So I'd say stop loss around 0.82950. And in terms of target for um, euro pound, I'd say the high looks good up there, but I would also look at this high here too. That could be a nice first target, and that could be your second target. Maybe 50% there, 50% there. It's up to you how you want to manage it. But I'll be looking at those kind of areas. And if you really want to push the trade, you've got that area up there. But I would suggest, taking your profits along the way. And then if you want to leave a little bit to run to the high, you can do that as well. But yeah, euro pound, I would be looking at that kind of setup. Stops there, targets there as well. You're basically basing your trade off that low, expecting that to hold. In terms of pound NZE, this one was happened, moved down, yet not much there really. You've gone short from current price, stop loss and targets. Okay, this one's been slowly heading to the downside, really. It's pretty neat, to be fair, that the price action, I must say, really respects that trend line pretty well. In terms of stop losses, again, it depends what you're looking for and your position sizing as well, because a stop loss here versus stop loss there is going to be very, very different. And you want to be using different position sizes for that, for the account you're trading on. But I would say a stop loss above the high there makes the most sense, just in case we have a bit of a pullback before continuing. In terms of targets, I do like the low here, and I'm actually looking to buy from a setup around here, which is 2.125, connecting the dots for that trend line as well. This is actually a setup I'm interested for a long. So that could be a nice target as well, around 2.125. But I would suggest the high there makes it for a good target as well. So 2.13585 and 2.125, I would say, look like healthy targets with stop losses above the high. That way, give yourself some room just in case we do pull back before continuing. So yeah, pound NZD and euro pound shorts, euro pound longs. I do actually like the ideas, to be fair. Yeah, stop losses a little bit awkward on both of them because we've seen some big movements. So you have bigger stop losses than usual. But still a nice idea and still a good probability one as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be looking at for those currency pairs. Okay, we'll go take a look at the DAX for Ben's position, see what's cooking over there. Cease integrated. Okay, DXY sculpt from 108. Okay. To TP 108 under 50-minute time frame. Okay, we'll have a look as well. Let me just have a quick look at the DAX, see what's going on over there. Okay, bit of movement on this one. Looks like the market is just generally quite volatile right now because I was definitely not expecting price to get near that level this week. I'm pretty sure yesterday I was talking about a retest of that area next week, but we almost did it in one day. But anyway, yeah, I was talking about some shorts around here. I said that would be a nice place to short because it looks like the market is still keeping up with the lower highs. So one over there, second, third, looking for a fourth. Market's overall quite corrective, still respecting structure. So I said the shorts over here look good. Didn't quite get there though, so no trade really. But if we did push a little bit higher, that would be a nice place to anticipate some downside. Looking a little bit bearish this morning with that candle. Ben, you got long from 19,120. 19,120, 19,120. Okay, that's around here. And your targets are 19,9. Wait, I'm confused. You said you got long from 19,120. Oh, that's your stop loss. Wait. Okay, your stop loss is 89.40. Okay, I understand. 89.40, which is about here. Okay, what's the plan for the trade? How far are you looking to take it? Um, I have to be honest, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the DAX's price action. It's just very, very choppy. If I'm going to look to trade it, I'll probably want to try and get stop loss underneath here, which I know would give you a really big stop loss, for your entry to your stop loss. So it would very much skew your risk to reward. But at least my stop loss is kind of away from the noise, which is what I'd be looking for. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the idea, I know you're looking for the bounce of this area for price to go bullish, but I just I'm not in love with the price action at all with the DAX here. Really, I did like the DAX last week. Was it last week? Yeah, or the week before when we had this test here. It looked really good for continuation, but since then we've been failing at those areas a lot. So ever since that's happened, it's put me more and more off the trade. So even though the bigger move might still be to the upside, and I'm still pretty bullish on most of the indices as well. Still looking for a move like this back to the high. And the wicks there do look pretty good in the daily chart as well. The bigger move is probably still to the upside, but it's just because of how volatile and how erratic the market is, might see price kind of trigger the stop loss and still push in the direction. And worst case scenario, you just look for a re-entry, really. I'm sure your risk reward is probably positive. So if you do get stopped out, you can always look to re-enter. Okay, you don't have a target for the trade. Going to see how it progresses, but looking at 19,400, 19,400. Okay, around there. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense looking for a bounce of this area. If price is going to hold on the daily chart, there is a lot of upside, but it's just the correctiveness of the market is chaotic, really. That move down was brutal. Yeah, I can imagine. And yeah, I mean that's the reality of volatile markets. That it looks good when the volatile when the market is volatile in your direction, and it's a little bit uncomfortable when it's against you. And but again, the market needs to move for us to get there. But it's leave behind a pretty big wick. It's going to be interesting to see how that candle closes. Whether we kind of pull back and leave a big wick, or does that momentum sustain? But yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the conditions at all, really, with the DAX. Sitting on the hands it is, yeah. I mean, again, if nothing is suiting your taste, nothing's ticking your boxes, no need to try and force anything really. Um, I mean, apart from CAD, yen, and silver, there's not really anything I'm looking at, to be honest. I do still like New Zealand CHF, but I don't think I'll get a setup with that one actually. Yeah, that's kind of just floating in the middle of nowhere, really. So I was looking to buy off the low here. Doesn't look like we're going to get there this week. Yeah, doesn't look like we're going to get this week. So it really was gold I was focused on, but gold's just been flying, so nothing there. I was looking a lot at the yen pairs this week, so I did tick that box with CAD yen, but everything else, nothing really tickling my fancy, I must say. CS integrated, you said you got that scalp on the DXY. Let's have a look, see. And then I'll start to go through some of the yen pairs. Oh, would you look at that? See, that's what you also get with volatile markets. Things look very bullish, and then you blink, and then they're looking very, very bearish or leaving behind a big wick. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting close today, which is why I'm kind of waiting for the weekly candle to close, because although price is looking very bullish right now, is it going to sustain above that level? That's the biggest question, because if it doesn't and it leaves behind a big wick, then I'm actually back bearish again, looking for the big move to the downside. If it does sustain and we see price give us a very strong candle closure above here, like I said, I'm not quite convinced of the big move yet, because I wouldn't be surprised if the next candle comes back below. But what it does mean, if we do get a close above this, it means I won't be looking to anticipate downside anymore. And I'll just be more of a spectator of the DXY rather than trying to cement a bias on it. So this weekly candle, today's candle as well, is going to be very, very interesting to see how we close. At the moment, leaving behind a pretty big wick there. Be interesting to see how this 4-hour candle closes, really. Not to mention the daily and the weekly, the 4 hours is going to be very interesting, because we've now pulled back more than 50% of that candle now. Do we go and fill that back up again in the next hour and 20 minutes, or do we keep pulling back? So yeah, we'll see on stream how that closes, but the key thing will be the weekly and the daily candles to see how they decide to close. But yeah, you said you got a sculpt somewhere. Okay, you got short from 108 to 107, 236 on the 15. Let's drop to the 15, shall we? Okay, 108. Okay, right at the top there to 107.6, was that? 107.236. Okay, so we're not too far away from your target. Oh, 107.4. Okay, yeah, we would have hit your target, yeah. Don't want to be oh, okay, I want to be greedy. Okay, I mean, really nice trade though. How come you sold at 108? Because pretty much called the top there. Pretty much called the top to a dime, really. It's starting to look very, very bearish now. Oh, you're trying to learn a new strategy for shorter term trades. Nice. Well, it's good to have a balance. It's good to have a balance, but the hardest thing with trading multiple strategies or having multiple horizons for your trade, short and long, is that it sometimes becomes a little bit difficult to manage. So so yeah, maybe having a second account might be nice for that. So you can kind of separate your trades, long term or swing or a day trade, so you don't kind of get in the way of things as well, and you can manage the trades, well too. But yeah, I mean, shorter term, there's profit to be made in shorter term. There's profit to be made longer term. Just about finding consistency really with it. The okay, pound CAD shorts are printing, so that's all good. Yeah, pound CAD has been looking very bearish. Euro CAD as well. They have been falling out the sky, haven't they? What's up, FX Wolf? Hope you're doing good, my man. What's up, Holy One? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Just moved stops to profit. Okay, nice. And Euro yen shorts. Yeah, you're milking Euro yen at the moment. Yeah, Euro yen has had a lovely, lovely tank. We'll go through the yen pairs now, actually. Okay, initial resistance. Okay. Okay, 0 to 2 trades a week. Okay. Yeah, as long as you can manage it really, because I feel like that's the biggest task when you're trying to do two different strategies, about managing them both. If you can manage them, then it's all green lights. Okay. So do you trade those on a different count then, early one? Keep them separate from the 50 strategy. Yeah, look at that from Euro yen. Very impressive stuff, I must say. Because I'm shorting CAD yen, but it's nowhere near as impressive as what Euro yen is doing, I must say. Euro yen looking very, very bearish, and pound yen looking very bearish as well. So yeah, I mean, again, with the yen pairs, as I've been saying, I've been looking for eventually a big sell-off with the yen pairs, and looks like that's finally coming to fruition now. And finally, we're seeing that actually happen. And if my bias is going to be correct, then I expect us to get back to 155 here, which is where we do have that neckline for that head and shoulder pattern. You got the left over here, you got the lovely head over there, and of course you got the right shoulder. Lovely wick into that area this week, and now looks like we're about to get a bearish close there. Don't want to go and jinx anything, but looks like we are about to get a nice bearish close. We'll see what happens in the next 11 hours, but it's looking pretty bearish for euro pound. So now with all of that on the higher time frames, all I'm expecting is just more downside on the way back to that low. FX Wolf, are you just going to be managing that euro yen position with some trading stops, or do you have a certain target for that trade? because I'm looking at euro yen now, and it's looking very good to the downside. And I'm having a bit of a reaction there, but I'm just expecting price to keep falling, really. Looks like we've broken through some key support here as well. Wouldn't be surprised maybe if we want to have another retest of that before the next continuation. But overall, lower high has been pretty consistent, as we can see there. So I'm just expecting that to continue. And yeah, 155, which is about 580 pips, is what I think we've got left in the tank, and then we might bounce and reverse from there. But yeah, euro yen looking really good, expecting a lot more downside. If we go over to pound yen, seeing a similar situation with that one as well. Overall, looking pretty bearish. This one's got a bit of obstacles to deal with, which is the high here on the left, which I believe we've just come back to retest now. So I actually like euro yen a lot more than pound yen, because euro yen's like a pretty much straight path on the way down. We don't have to really contend with much. We kind of rejected that resistance. Now it's pretty much a clean move down. Maybe apart from this low, you might see a bit of noise, but overall expecting a pretty clean move down. Pound yen could be something similar, and you would expect it to be, of course, because they're both yen pairs, and euro pound and euro and pound are very similar currency pairs as well. But we do have that high there, which price might struggle on. But really, I do expect us to break through now and probably see a swing back to that low, at least, if that is going to be a lower high in this sequence. But I'll take it as it comes with pound yen. I'm not as convinced with this swing as I am with euro yen and some of the other yen pairs. I think this looks like a very healthy target back into that low at 190, which gave us that kind of continuation there to the upside. So maybe with pound yen, we might go through another pullback, and that could be another opportunity to short maybe sometime next week. And as we see a continuation of these lower highs, we had one over there, second, third, fourth, might get a fifth, and be on our way. But in terms of the direction, I do see pound yen maintaining this momentum and falling to the downside. And in terms of your Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, which are trying to break out their consolidations, so there could be some really nice opportunities with them in the near future. Again, both of them very similar opportunities. You can see a really nice range here for Aussie yen. If we do eventually clear that, I'm expecting one-way streak back down to this low. I like the move on the way up. It was very clean, not much noise in that. So if we do break the low, probably going to see a similar move on the way back down here, on the way to that level. And there could be some really nice opportunities on the retest of the consolidation once we eventually do get the break of that. So waiting for a break to the downside. There was actually a nice short this week on the retest of the range. As we came back to retest the high. Nice short over there. Not really a trade that I'll look to take, because it's kind of within the range. I look to get involved outside of the range. But if you're looking for a bit of range play, nice little trade there, which we were mentioning at the time, not just in hindsight, of course. And then if we can get the break, that would be absolutely fantastic as well. And that's really the trade I'm after with Aussie yen. But if I'm in CAD yen, I might not worry too much about it. But that would be a nice setup. New Zealand yen, pretty much the same thing. This one looks like it's actually trying to break out, actually, because New Zealand has been really, really weak. Oh, that's not how you spell it. So yeah, New Zealand's been pretty weak. So this one's not far away from a breakout. Actually, it's testing the low of the range right now. I mean, if you're looking to play the range, there's actually a place where you want to think of a buy. But yeah, I'm just not keen on buying the yen pairs at all. We've been trading this range. I think the breakout of the range is soon. So I'm waiting for us to clear that low. And then, yeah, we got targets to aim for down here. And we've got that big kind of wick there to aim for. But you can see how clean that move was on the way up. Really nice. Not a lot of stop and starts. Just pretty clean. So probably going to see something similar on the way down. Hopefully we do get that retest though, and catch the shorts there as well. So yeah, it's pretty much self-explanatory, the setups here with Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, waiting for the ranges to break. And we've got all of this distance to the downside to capitalize on, most likely. So just a waiting game, really. In terms of CAD yen, of course, that's the yen pair I'm trading. So we're going to see how that gets going. This one's a bit more of an aggressive one because we are actually still pushing to the upside and seeing higher highs and higher lows. The original setup I was looking for CAD yen was the break of structure for price to go and break through this low, and then I'll look for some shorts on the retest. But since we had that big push to the high, I still maintain that bearish bias as long as we rejected the high. So that's why I got short. So now I'm looking to see if I can get the more aggressive trade, but potentially catch where we are going to turn from. And then maybe, who knows, I might get some additional trades later on to add to the position. But the plan is still looking for a big sell to the downside. And then if we take a look at dollar yen, still not really yen pair, which I'll look to short just yet. Still overall pretty bullish, I would say. We're still respecting the trend line, I'm pretty sure of it. Yeah, so I need price to show me a little bit more evidence of us selling off. The reason why I was happy to short CAD yen because we're trading underneath major resistance on the weekly chart. But for dollar yen, we've actually broken through that kind of corresponding level resistance, and now we're trading above it. So more of a sign of bullish momentum rather than bearish. So I'm not really happy to short USD yen, and of course USD has been very, very strong, even stronger than CAD. And then you've got your lovely CHF JPY, which has seen some nice downsides past 24 hours. Price is actually pushed up first, but it's come straight back down. And again, with this one, still kind of keeping up that bearish structure here with the lower lows and lower highs, but I would like it to go and break through some structure now. Overall, this bearish structure is still pretty corrective. So I want to see a bit more momentum, a bit more force on the down moves, take out some lows, and then that could provide some nice shorts maybe sometime next week on like a retest like that, or maybe the retest of the low. We'll map that out as the week progresses, but that could be a really nice short going into next week there. So yeah, with the yen pairs pretty much bearish on most of them. Dollar yen probably the only one I would just be a bit more neutral on, but I am expecting big shorts for them. I'm going to stick it out with my CAD yen trade. I haven't gone to break even or taken any partials or anything. Just going to let the market do its thing. It's either going to reverse and take me out for a loss, or it's going to drop and do what I want it to do. And I'll look in some gains at the low, and then I'll look into start trail and seeing how far I can take it. So yeah, that is the plan of the yen pairs. How we're looking on the index side of things. Still consolidating, so not really much there actually with the index. I thought we would have a bit more downside there. Again, like I said, I like the weekly chart here because we had that nice wick to the upside last week, but this week is pretty much just a lot of sidewaysness. So I think if we can get the break of that low, that's what's really going to open up the door to some yen bearishness or yen bullishness, but yen pairs bearishness. That makes sense. And then we've got the JPY basket. Is that one breaking out that range yet? Okay, looks like it's trying to give it a good go though. That's what I like to see. I mean, last time we did that, we did fail. So I do want to see a bit more upside there. And if that's the case, yeah, we could really fly because we've been testing a major area of kind of demand here. We consolidated for a few days, really big push to the upside. Markets now respect that area in a few occasions, arranging. Can we see a strong break? And can we keep pushing? I think we can. So hopefully that can happen sooner rather than later. So yeah, it does look like the yen pairs are turning slowly. And I still think there's a lot of opportunities left. So if you're looking to get short in the yen pairs, yeah, I still think there's a lot of opportunity to short them. Even the pair I'm trading right now, CAD yen, hasn't barely got going yet. If it is going to get going, it hasn't really got going yet. There's still the opportunities for retest of the lows here. We haven't even broken structure yet. Even with Euro yen, which is one of the more bearish yen pairs, this one's seen some nice downside, but it's left behind a really nice level for possible retest now. So I still think there's a lot of opportunities there. Pound yen as well. I mean, this one is testing some support. But say we pull back, could be another little high there as well. Dollar yen hasn't really got going, and then Aussie yen and New Zealand yen haven't even broken out their ranges yet. So I think there's still a lot of opportunity with the yen pairs if you're still looking to get involved. So definitely no fear of missing out here. Okay, take profit is 154,387, and that's for euro yen. 154,387. Okay, oh, you're looking for a big swing then. 154,387 is around here. So more or less where I've got that big weekly level. So you're looking for a really big swing. Nice. I bet the restored in that position is looking healthy. Are you taking partials on the way down, FX Wolf, or are you trading stops? How are you looking to manage that? Because you'll be leaving a lot on the table if you're just gonna let the market do its thing. So I'd imagine you might look to trail or maybe take partials to protect against that. But yeah, it's looking really healthy, I must say. Looking really healthy. I think that was the main level to look for this week for euro yen, because we had that big bounce on Tuesday, really big engulfing candle. Then price came back and broke through. So that's giving me a lot of confidence that euro yen is just going to keep dropping, most likely. Nothing's 100%, of course. Holy one gold now at 27.08. Okay, just a watch, only not too short. Yeah, it's back at that high. Again, I'm kind of relaxing on that short bias now with gold. The way it's just moved up, the way it looks like it's about to break through that high, which it's trading at now, which is 27.10. If it breaks that high, I think the short's completely invalid. Not that we can't sell off, because I do expect us to actually see some downside because the market's quite stretched now. So I do expect us to see some downside, but most likely now will be a pullback to continue higher. So the shorts aren't looking as promising, whereas over here I was looking for the pullback for continuation. Now the bearish move is probably just a pullback for a pullback, for us to continue going up. So yeah, that's why I'm a little bit less motivated to short gold now, especially if we break the high at 27.10, and probably should leave gold alone. What's up then, Ed? Hope you're doing good. Sol Pound NZD. Okay. Not the first person to say they've sold Pound NZD today on the stream. We'll have a look. No problem. What's up, Tony Gold? Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I think the fundamentals for gold are just what's keeping gold very, very bullish right now. Because at the end of the day, if people are just flooding their money into gold, doesn't really matter what the chart says. The price is going to keep pushing up, really. So it's always one thing to keep in mind for gold. With that, I mean, even despite that, I would still short if I'd still get a good setup. But yeah, since I don't really have a good setup, and we're very much, very much gold bullish environment right now. Who knows how high gold can push? Okay, trading stops, nice. RISV, okay, S&P looking for a long jump. Okay, I'll go take a look at pound NZD first for Ninad, then I'll have a look at your S&P idea there. But yeah, pound NZD, I spoke briefly on this one earlier. I do think there is some downside to be had here for pound NZD. I have pointed out a couple areas where we could get to, because I'm actually looking for a long on pound NZD, but it's way into the future. I'm looking for a setup to retest the high here, kind of a continuation of this trend line. First test, second test, third. Looking to see if we can get a fourth test and a bounce of that area, lining up, retesting that high as well. So that's the setup, bullish setup I'm interested in. But again, we're still quite away from that. Might be a week or two out from hitting that level. So there is downside in the meantime. And I do like the shorts. I think in terms of entries, if you kind of look to get involved in that trend line area, that would be nice. Even if we're to push again, could be another nice opportunity there. You sold at 1.93226. 1.93226. Is that a different pair you're talking about? Oh, are you talking about pound Aussie? Yeah, I think you're talking about pound Aussie. 1.93226. So that's roughly around there. So yeah, I suppose you mean pound Aussie because those prices aren't really relevant to pound NZD. Okay, looking really bearish. What's the plan with this one as well? Because I anticipate you're looking to take advantage of that current momentum. Your price is pretty much bleeding. You shorted at the low there. We're bleeding some more, which is good. But like, how far are you looking to take this? Because it's always difficult with this, especially in FX pairs, and especially with pound Aussie as well. We're looking bullish, and then suddenly the price reverses itself. So the market is pretty stretched. It's looking very bearish. So I understand shorting. But when you're taking these type of trades, you kind of want to either be in and out pretty quickly, or if you are going to look for bigger moves, you want to trail pretty much, not aggressively, but you want to trail, appropriately to the market because the chances are that eventually this bearish momentum is going to hit a wall and we are going to revert to the upside. It's just how the market moves. If you look to the left, that's most likely what we do. Maybe besides this one here, of course, there always will be one opportunity that just flies, but most of the time, the market does revert itself quite a lot. So I would be looking at protecting myself with a trading stop as price goes in my favor, or just look for quick in and out, take the momentum and run sort of thing. I guess maybe you've got a target around that low there. I think if you're trading as you go along, should be a nice little way to manage it. But yeah, looking bearish, probably see a bit more downside, but I do think we'll bounce pretty soon there for pound Aussie, so I would watch out for that. We'll go take a look at the S&P now. Okay, Tony Gold, we'll take a look as well. But yeah, with the S&P, I'm still very much bullish. To be fair, with pretty much all the major indices, because I do expect us to keep pushing up. But we might be going through a bit of a retracement period with the indices, and I think we're probably due one anyway. Of course, S&P made new all-time highs not long ago, and we did that with all the other major US indices as well. And with dollar being so bullish, you would expect to see some downside now on the S&P as well. Yeah, I haven't been a big fan of the market structure, to be fair. I was at the start of the week because we had a really nice double bottom here. So price tested the level once over here, came back again, left a really nice wick to the downside, took out these lows here as well, pulled back up, and then momentum was looking very strong. So I was actually just expecting prices to keep pushing up at that point. Then we came back again, and now price is still looking pretty corrective. So I mean, it depends what type of long setup you're looking for. You're on the lower time frames. You're looking for an intraday long. You're looking for a swing back to the high. It really does depend on what type of trade you're looking at. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I have to say we are still pretty corrective. So I wouldn't be so keen unless we pick up some momentum from somewhere. Then maybe we might leave behind a nice retest like that. So that could be a nice setup, but that's probably for next week more so. If you're looking for a bit more of a swing trade, then at least look for price to approach the low here, or even come a bit deeper into this area. Just mark it from the high there, because this is where all that momentum came from, and we haven't got there yet. So it's still fresh area for price to test and have a reaction from as well. So I still like the buys from 57.60. In terms of the intraday buys, not as much as a fan of that, just because price is so corrective. Unless we pick up momentum, we get 2-3 big candles pushing us to the high, then yeah, maybe the breaking retest of that high there looks good to continue back to the all-time high. If not, if we stay corrective, I think we'll probably have a bigger retracement first at some point. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with S&P. Okay, I'll go take a look at NAS next. No problem, Nenad. Happy to help. Happy to help. Yeah, of course. Still got a lot of news left. I'll quickly read them out actually, and then I'll take a look at the NAS 100. Um, so of course we had a lot of news this morning. Retail sales for pound, euro, all of that. It's lovely stuff. Now in the afternoon, we still got CAD retail sales. We still got PMI for USD. Uh, CAD retail sales at 1:30 UK time. Then we got PMI for USD at 2:45. Michigan consumer sentiment at 3 o'clock. USD at 3 o'clock. And we got some minor ones as well, more medium impact, not as high. But I think those three are the major ones this afternoon. So yeah, I mean, I like it to be fair. I like it when there's movement. I rather there will be movement or not, to be honest. So I don't mind that. I tend to trade in the higher time frames anyway. So my stop losses are unnaturally bigger, so it doesn't really concern me as much. But yeah, in terms of the NAS, I'm still expecting higher prices as well, but it's equally as corrective as the S&P. So I said earlier in the week with NAS as well, I would like price to come a little bit deeper for a retest of this area because this is where all the momentum came from. You can see we had um, a brief pause there for a few days, and then price absolutely shot to the upside. Of course, the US elections were the main driver of that, but that's just a lot of momentum. And since then, we've actually had a pretty big sell off as well. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we're having a bit of a correction here for maybe one more drop to the downside. And that could be a nice long. It respects the low end of the channel as well. You're coming back into a nice area of demand too. So there's some layers of confluence at that area. It'll take a lot of energy for us to break as well. In terms of the intraday opportunities, it's still looking pretty corrective for me. So yes, we're slowly pushing to the upside, but unless we see some momentum from somewhere, I wouldn't be so keen about looking for long opportunities just because the market environment is just very, very corrective. So it's not providing me with a lot of confidence there. So if something like that happens this afternoon, then maybe some nice pullbacks early next week could look good. If not, I'll be waiting for a deeper correction before looking for the buy. But yeah, we're still very much in bullish environments here. You can see overall the NAS is still driving higher. So predominantly looking for buying opportunities until proven otherwise, really. And yeah, I do expect us to reach again back to the highs at some point. But for now, just looking for a quality buy setup, which I'm not really seeing. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the NAS. What's up, Lauda? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. And Ninad oil, okay, we'll have a look, see with that one as well. Thinking about selling at the 0.618 fib. Okay, no worries, we'll take a look. New high on Tuesday, 4 hour, pulling fibs from the swing low to a swing high. Spot 75 fib on the indication of weak trend. Yeah, that's true as well. That's true. You can't think about the fundamental side of things as well. Could see yen buys just because of that, really. But I do think from the technicals as well, it does look like things are shifting. We've seen a lot of momentum for the yen pairs up. I say a lot of momentum. It's been a lot of corrective momentum. We've been slowly pushing up. Really haven't seen crazy moves. Maybe here and there, and maybe on dollar yen, yes. But for the most part, it's been a slow grind with the yen pairs. So I do think we can eventually roll over. In terms of oil, so last time I checked, oil was looking a little bit bullish. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, slowly trying to push up. Again, 72 is still the main area of focus for a short. It's holding the 0.618 fib. I assume you're talking about the fib from the high here to the low. Yeah, so it is doing a pretty good job at holding on to that fib. So the thing about Fibonacci is that it's a great tool, but you want to use it normally in trending conditions, which arguably oil is sort of in. If you zoom out the bigger picture, we're kind of are trending down, but it's not the cleanest trend. And effectively, if you just look at the price action here, really, we're kind of just consolidating. So I would never really want to draw fib from a high to a low inside of a range because effectively the the concept of a fib is that the market's had a push, continuing a trend, it's had a retracement of that trend, and now you're looking for it to continue. And because there is no trend inside a range, it does kind of make the fib redundant and not really effective tool. Now, sometimes it will work. Again, that's the thing about the market. You know, a broken clock is right twice a day as well. So even using Fibonacci retracements inside a range, even though that's just not the best way to use it. It sometimes will give you a nice setup, really, but it's just not really how I look to to use the fib. If I'm going to get short on oil, it would be up here. Again, I'm not saying this setup won't work. It's just not the best setup if you're going to take this 100 times versus using the fib in trending environments. It's going to perform a lot better there. So that's kind of where I would focus the fib. But yes, it is retracing to the 0.618 and is having a hard time at that area. So it's come back to this gap as well. So it looks like it is having a hard time. And yes, it could see some downside, but because of the ranging environments, I would only be looking to short the oil at 72 because I've seen price reject that area numerous times. There's a lot of evidence there, and I can get a pretty healthy stop loss above the noise. So if price is going to take my stop loss, it's probably because price is going to break higher. Whereas if I put a stop loss here, it's probably just going to push higher to the range anyway, and then it might sell off. Which again isn't the worst case in the world. You can always look for a re-entry, but it might be an unnecessary loss to take in the first place. So yeah, if I'm going to look to get in oil, I do kind of still have a bearish bias with oil, but this is where I'll get involved with at around 72.29. We could sell off from here, but it's just not my preferred location for a trade. In the middle of the range is one of the worst places to get involved, and I know that from experience. And the funny thing is with trading, like I said, you know, you could take a bad trade and it could still play out, but doesn't mean you should take it again. Is really what I'm getting at. So yeah, I would focus around 72 for some shorts. I'm not so keen inside the middle of the range. That's where I'll be looking at. And it was actually price support as well. Very, very well over here. A few tests there too. So it's a really well respected level in the market for oil. So yeah, that's where I would focus my efforts. But I still think there is a lot of movement to the downside potentially. But if oil does have that sell off from there, that would be nice because that would really help out my CAD yen position. Because although we've seen a lot of downside for euro yen, a lot of downside for pound yen, even New Zealand yen, even though it's in a range, it actually has had pretty big bearish move as well. CAD hasn't actually seen much because, of course, CAD being a little bit stronger. So I shorted the market at the same time as we kind of got that 4-hour close across all the yen pairs. So this candle here, if you look at the timing of that, Wednesday, 20th of November, the 2 o'clock open. If you go to euro yen, for example, if I took the short on that pair, that would be this candle here. That's had a much bigger sell-off than CAD. Going on to pound yen as well. Same candle there, much bigger sell-off as well. And that's just because CAD has been a bit stronger. And of course, you can tell that by looking at pound CAD, which is absolutely melting. Really big sell. Look at Euro CAD, absolutely melting as well. Really big sell too. So yeah, looking at the strength and weakness can be a bit beneficial, but for me, I'm always going to be looking to take the trade with the better setup in terms of tick my boxes the best as well. And CAD yen tick the boxes the best, so that's why I shorted that one. Um, so yeah, I don't really regret that decision. But yeah, it would have been nice to catch some of the moves like euro yen and pound yen. I can't lie. But it ticked the boxes, holding structure well. So I'm going to see this one through, and hopefully we can get some really big moves for the yen pairs, because that's really what I've been waiting for at least a month or two now. Yeah, that's a good point as well. That's a good point as well. Just stomach these negative swaps, JPY 101. Very, very true. That's the disadvantage of selling the yen pairs. The yen pairs can provide some really nice shorts because they normally are pretty quickly and they're heavy hitting, but the swaps are a pain, especially on Wednesday as well, because they're, I think it's three times, pay three times or four times or something like that, of the swap. And the funny thing is, I got into the trade on Wednesday as well, so I just paid that heavy swap on that first night. But yeah, hopefully it does pay me. So the swaps are, yeah, don't really mean too much, but yeah, the swaps aren't great. I must say, the swaps aren't great. But the way I just chalk it to the game, it's just a part of trading, really, just like commissions or spread. It's just part of the game, and gaps as well, slippage. Hey, what's up, Gerald? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. All looks like Will's giving a nice little one-to-one there. Yeah, there's multiple ways to trade and enter the market. The biggest takeaway I've learned is find something that works and get really, really good at it. That's the best way of finding success in the markets, because if you look across the board, some of the best traders ever to live, there's a wide range of different types of ways to trade and different ways of getting involved in the market, exiting trades, holding on to trades. But the key thing is that they're just very, very good at whatever they're doing. So whatever system you're going to use, whatever tools you're going to use to trade with, each one become very good at it. And the funny thing is, pretty much everything works. Trend lines, moving averages, support resistance, candlestick patterns, everything does work, just in the right times and the right conditions. Nothing works all the time, but everything does work at the right time. So you find those conditions, you find those times when it does work, and that's when you take your trades, and that's what you want to come good at, which of course is very much easier said than done. Is silver doing what it's meant to be doing? Sort of. Hasn't really moved much, to be fair, since we last spoke. It's looking okay. Hopefully we can keep pushing on. Um, been in this trade for over a week now and got into the trade last Thursday. But it's done nothing compared to what gold has done. Absolutely nothing. Gold has been on a crazy one since Monday. This was the start of the week. This candle here, and it's just flown. Silver started the week off. Where did it start the week? Start of the week here. Wait, no, start of the week here. Has seen some nice upside, but it's probably about 25% of what gold has done. So hopefully, hopefully, silver can pick up its pace and we can get to the high again. Does news events affect the futures market? I'm pretty sure it would. I mean, I don't trade the futures market, so I don't really know it like that. But news pretty much affects all markets, so I expect futures as well. Gerald, I don't know. Okay, yep, I will take a look at euro pound for you, no problem. Yes, Lord, I'm still holding on to silver. It's been a slow one, but since I never got the short on gold, yeah, since I never got the short on gold, I've just been holding on to silver really. The plan was to exit silver full gold really, but gold just never gave me the opportunity. So I'm holding on to silver. Again, the idea of silver was really just to take advantage of the retracement of that move. I'm not expecting this one to be a crazy trade. But I've already taken 50% of my profits and moved stop loss to break even. So um, the risk is removed and now I'm just letting price do its thing. So yeah, at the moment, because I'm not looking to short gold anymore, I'm just going to hold on to silver now and let silver do its thing. And hopefully, if gold just keeps pushing up, silver will eventually see some nice momentum. It's already seen some nice movement this morning, so hopefully we can kind of continue that before the week does end. But yeah, still holding silver, long silver, short CAD yen. Barry 2%. Okay, no problem. Have a good one. We'll have a good weekend as well. We'll see you next week. Take care, my man. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, to be honest. Long silver, short CAD yen, and most likely going to be holding these guys over the weekend as well. Not great for CAD yen because of the negative swaps, but hey, if you're going to be trading, oh, that's the 5-hour chart. If you're going to be trading the yen pairs, shorting them, yeah, that's a price you're going to have to pay. But hopefully we can get to this area first. I can book some profits and counter against that swap a little bit. But yeah, we'll go through Euro Pound and then we'll go through some of the crosses. See what's cooking over there. I don't really have many crosses I'm looking at apart from New Zealand CHF. Um, yeah, only New Zealand CHF off the top of my head, but we'll have a look. So yeah, Euro Pound, very awkward, I must say, because of the wicks, I must say. Big wicks the downside, big wicks the upside. Not really ideal, and that would have done a good job at wicking out and taking a lot of people either up or down. And whether you were buying or selling, you probably would have been taking out the trade if you had electronic stops. So that's unfortunate. But the thing about getting taken out of a trade by a fake out, you can always re-enter. Getting faked out is not a be all or end all. If you have a positive risk reward, you're always looking to get back in the trade, because if the next trade does play out, which has a higher probability to do so because of the fake out, you make back your loss plus some more. So the whole kind of proposition of you trading is still profitable. But anyway, in terms of Euro Pound, we're still holding to this zone. This is the zone I said this week, which I'm looking for the bounce from at 0.83. And it's still holding. So I'm still looking for price to push on, especially with this big wick now. Anyone who was in the market prior to this would have been taken out unless they had a really big stop loss underneath that low. So I do expect us to see some upside now for Euro Pound. I've pointed out a couple areas where we can target. So 0.8346 and 0.837. And if you're looking for a bigger move, this high here looks pretty good as well. But I think these are a bit more realistic, or at least where you want to at least book some profits. But anyway, Euro Pound, I would be bullish on, as I keep going over. We're trading in a really massive level on the higher time frames, really massive support here. So I do think the bigger move is to the upside, unless maybe we get a breakout. But I will judge that when it happens. I'll believe it when I see it. At the moment, the market is still holding on to that level of support. So overall, looking for buys, still testing on major support right now. So yeah, looking for a push to the upside for Euro Pound off that level, and a push back to 0.8346 and 0.837, probably by end of next week, maybe. Definitely not this week. But yeah, that's kind of my bias for Euro Pound. Hey, you join me in silver. Nice, Lauder. From 30.843. Hope it continues forever. That is the attitude. That is the attitude we want to see. I'm very much with you with that, to be honest. I hope it continues forever as well. And it does it quickly too. So yeah, you got into the trade from 30.843. I guess around here-ish. Nice little entry there, as you maybe the little retest off that low. But yeah, it's looking good. And I guess your take profit is continues forever. So no bad take profit either. I mean, I am looking at probably exiting the trade completely at this high here. Maybe I might leave some to trail, to be honest, if because gold's looking very strong now. So that might motivate me to leave some positions to run. I will book some more profits there though, because it is a really big level for silver, and I don't want to be too optimistic and see price come straight back down against me from that area. Really strong resistance once, twice there as well. So I will look to book more profits here at 32, but because gold's looking strong, it looks like gold might get back to the highs, the all-time highs. So I probably might leave a little bit to run to see if silver can do its thing back to the high there too at 35, and like you said, maybe continues forever. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for silver. But yeah, it's looking good. So hopefully we can keep pushing. But yeah, I'm gonna go through some of the crosses. So I already went through pound NZE. I do think some nice buys for this one will form later on from around 2.125. More of a longer term view of the market, looking for another bounce of the trend line here, but one I do like. So keep an eye for this one. But again, I've been eyeing up this opportunity for about 2 weeks now, and it might still be another 2 weeks before I do get another trade with pound NZE. But I'm fine with that because there's other pairs I'm looking to get involved with. Pound Aussie, a similar setup to pound NZD. This one as well, seeing the consistent high lows. I would be careful with this one as we do approach this area. You can see the trend line connecting the high lows too. As we approach, we could see price very much go for another bounce. I prefer pound NZD, so I'll probably just focus more on that one, but we're coming into a similar area there as well, so I would be careful with that. Euro Aussie, I'm pretty sure, was really bearish. I think we actually broke the low. Yeah, we did. It looks like we are pulling back, but we did actually get beneath that low. So yeah, it looks to me that Euro Aussie, Euro NZD, maybe pound NZD as well, and maybe pound Aussie, they're all kind of slowly getting ready for a big reversal. And I was mentioning this at the start of the year, and it's only happening now that we actually are seeing the reversal. So I do think there is a lot of downside to be had with Euro Aussie, back to these areas and probably even this area here. So I think a trend is going to form because they have been consolidating for most of the year, really, just a lot of consolidation. So if this low can go, I do think it will open up the door to some nice shorts. And yeah, some continuation. So we'll keep an eye on this. It's not ready yet because we're still respecting the low for now. But I do think we can really push away. So if I do see some confident candle closures below and some breakouts, I will be looking to take some chances on some pullbacks. Euro NZD, this one not so much. It's still kind of very much in the range as well, as we can see. So I'm not really eager to get involved, but a lot of movement at the start of the day here. You can see really powerful support there, big wicks to the downside, more or less close at that level. So not really a confident break, but another really nice head and shoulder pattern. You got the left over there, you got the head and the right shoulder. Of course, this being your neckline here as well. So I do think price is going to follow what Euro Aussie did. So I do think we'll eventually get the break, continuations all the way back to that low, and probably the low here as well at 1.74 100. So I do think shorts look good there for Euro NZD. I'm not a fan of the conditions, but I actually like it. It's a really nice head and shoulder pattern, nice momentum. Had a pretty clean move on the way up, so there's a good chance we'll probably see a nice move on the way back down. Really textbook head and shoulder pattern there, clean neckline. If that snaps, it's probably going to take us back to the low there as well. So I actually do like USD setup. Not too sure if I add it to my watch list. I think there'll be better markets out there for me to trade, but I like how it's looking. I'll still wait for a bit more downside though, because this candle hasn't really proven a breakout yet. It's just left a big wick. So if this candle can go and fill the wick there, that'd be wicked. And yeah, expecting continuations afterwards. Yeah, of course, Lauder. If gold can keep that up, then you would expect silver to follow suit as well. Yeah, you would expect silver to follow suit. So that's why I was kind of looking to exit my silver position if I did short gold, because there's no point of shorting gold and then buying silver. It contradicts the two. So yeah, now that gold is flying high, you do expect silver to follow suit really and continue that, which we haven't really seen much evidence yet. Maybe a bit of momentum this morning, but nowhere near is it doing what gold is doing. Nowhere near. In fact, gold's finding a little bit hard breaking through that high. But even if that does reject, I'm not shorting gold. I do think if gold does see some downside, which is probably due to see some downside, it's probably just going to be a retracement for something like that later on. So hopefully, silver can do something similar and just continue. But yeah, I'm not looking for the continuation of this bearish leg anymore. That is not looking like a real possibility anymore. So yeah, I do think gold's probably going to retrace as it probably will. But the bigger move is probably back to the high here now, 27.89. The shorts did not come into fruition at all. Yeah, it's looking pretty bullish now. In terms of the CAD pairs have been absolutely falling out the sky. I know some people have been taking advantage of that. I think a couple of people in some shorts with EuroCAD at the start of the week. I know Ben's in some shorts and pound CAD. That's looking pretty good. And of course, CAD's been pretty strong and Euro and pound have been pretty weak. So that's a recipe for disaster. And yeah, these guys have been falling out the sky. Price is actually smashed through the level I was looking for price to actually bounce at for EuroCAD. I said 1.46 might be an area where we might see some upside. I mean, we have broken through, but we are having a pretty big pullback right now. So who knows? Maybe by the end of the day, we pull back and leave behind a big wick. How is dollar doing? I just want to see the wick on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so it hasn't pulled back completely. It's still pulled back more than 50%, which is pretty significant. Still got about 28 minutes left before that candle closes. So we'll see how that does close, because I am very interested, especially on the weekly chart as well. Anyway, back to EuroCAD. So yeah, EuroCAD is pulling back. I think the buys are just a little bit aggressive at the moment because of all the momentum in the market. So taking some buys might be a little bit difficult, but I do think we'll probably do some retracement anyway. So I'm on the 4-hour chart. Maybe a strong bullish engulfing like that could be a nice trade. Your stop loss might look pretty big there, but we probably will push up at least maybe halfway. Not too sure all the way up there. Yeah, the risk reward doesn't look great, to be honest. Probably a negative risk reward, which is not ideal. But yeah, EuroCAD, really big melt to the downside, really big melt. And of course, we go take a look at PoundCAD. Same thing as well. Not far away from your take profit there, Ben. I think you said your take profit was 1.74, which is pretty much the low here. And yeah, we're crushing it, really. We had that breakout on Tuesday, was it? Broke this support here on Tuesday with that nice little shooting star. And we haven't looked back since. Price has just been melting. So yeah, probably going to go and hit your take profit pretty soon. Looking really, really good. Wow, won't even get down to your area until mid-January. That is that's like just under 2 months, really. So yeah, I mean, I know you'll be taking a bunch of setups before waiting until mid-Jan. So yeah, probably not wise to concern yourself with gold's price action anymore. But yeah, I don't think it looks particularly great anymore. It's just too bullish. If anything, it might actually start look good for some buy setups, maybe at some point next week. I'm not too sure if I'll be looking to get involved, but I think many people do like trading gold. So yeah, I'll probably be looking to shift that bias and looking for upside. But since I've already trading silver, I don't see the need to try and get in gold. because if gold is going to push up, silver is going to do most likely the same. So yeah, not going to try and get involved with that. If it's not ticking my boxes well, looking high quality, no need to try and force it. But yeah, um, EuroCAD, Pound CAD, both melting out the sky, and New Zealand CAD also seen some nice downside as well. Not as aggressive as Euro or Pound, but I like this one because of the higher time frames. It does look like we are starting to break out of this ascending channel. You can see some nice closures there yesterday and today potentially. I know today's still got 10 hours left before it does close, but it looks like we are going to start to pull away from that channel. And if we go on the weekly chart as well, if you can get a nice close on the weekly chart, we're about 10.5 hours away from a decent close. Let's see if we can keep that up. A lot can happen. We do have CAD retail sales this afternoon. Maybe we eventually pull back inside the range or we continue further. We'll have to wait and see. But if we do get the break of this channel, I'm looking at NZD CAD coming right back down to the low there at 0.796, So the plan will be looking for pullbacks on the way down, really. But yeah, I do like NZD CAD to the downside. Very, very bearish market. Looks like we're breaking out that channel, so I'm not convinced about the longs at all. Never was really, because the market was just so corrected. This is not really a sustainable trend at all. So yeah, I do think the bigger move is to the downside. Same with Aussie CAD, but I still believe this one's trading in its channel pretty well. Yeah, hasn't really done much, this one. So until we kind of break out of that ascending channel, there's really not much for me to do. But similar to NZD CAD, I do expect us to eventually get the break and then see that downside. And then targets will be all the way down at that low 0.85700. So there's a lot of downsides to be taken advantage of. Similar kind of trade to Ben's Pound CAD one. If we can break out the channel here, we'll probably have a big sell-off, and I'm expecting us to push into the low. So maybe this might be something to consider next week if we get the break, or the week after. But looks like New Zealand CAD is already on the wave, so we'll see what we get by the end of the week. But on Fridays, I'm normally just looking a lot at the weekly candles to see how they close, because they do paint a nice picture for the following week. Yeah, 250 pips in 3 days is definitely a lot. Yeah, 50, I understand. My heart breaks every time I see BTC pushing, because that trade at 69535 and just checking out and close the trade. Oh, Lord. I don't know what to say to that, to be honest, because you win the trade. It's not like you didn't take a trade there. It happens. The thing is, there's always going to be another opportunity. Yeah, there's always another opportunity on the cards. Maybe none like that one. I'm joking. There's always going to be another pullback for Bitcoin. There's going to be another pullback for Bitcoin. Yeah, there always is. Every market pullbacks, even if it's very exponential. But yeah, I think for your sake, maybe just don't look at Bitcoin too much, and maybe stay away from any financial news updates as well, because a lot of people be talking about Bitcoin when it hits 100K, which is very, very close to. Yeah, it's looking extremely bullish. And I've now just brought up the chart for you, Lord. I'm kind of rubbing it in a little bit. My bad. Yeah, 100K not too far away. So when that hits, you're going to see a lot of stories in the media, 100%. But yeah, let's get off Bitcoin before we scar order for life there. We'll go through some of the CHF pairs, because I do like New Zealand CHF to the upside still. It's just being a bit too slow. So yeah, it doesn't look like I'll get a trade today anyway. It was a mistake in hindsight. PA was clean on everything. Indices, BT Gold, it was lovely setup on all of them. Yeah, I mean, technicals are still technicals at the end of the day, no matter what news event. It's just, the possibility of it going against you, because it was a huge drop when the elections on was it Tuesday or Wednesday? It was a huge drop on the USD markets and a big push on dollar. You know, the funny thing is price action was clean and you had a good read of the market. There will be the same people who had the confidence to trade on the US elections, but would have taken the opposite position to you, and then they'll be regretting they took their trade because they probably would have got slipped pretty badly, especially with their low time frames. So they'll be saying in hindsight, luckily, they'll be saying in hindsight, I wish I didn't trade the US elections because they were on the wrong side of it. Um, the only reason why you wouldn't trade the US elections or that week in general is just in terms of risk, really. As if, okay, if I'm on the wrong side, potentially I can get slipped pretty badly. Any gaps as well. If it goes against me, I might expect it to lose a little bit more. If you're okay to take that slightly added risk to your trading that week, then you can take your trades as well. I mean, I was looking to long silver, but if I took that trade, I would have got burnt on silver. Um, but yeah, I decided to stay out of the market. And then I got in a couple of weeks later, and that was playing out pretty well. So in hindsight, it's actually worked out well in my favor. But yeah, I understand what you mean, because you see that with like NFPs and Fed interest rate. See nice trades play out, but you decided not to take it because of the news event. CAD CHF that's bullish. Okay, we'll take a look. Yeah, the wicks didn't happen. I was expecting that as well. Yeah, I was expecting that because the last election there was a lot of wicks, um, up and down. So even despite you being in the right direction, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, we didn't see the wicks, to be honest. This one, it was just a big drop, and that's another factor as well. It's just undecisive. Sometimes we do see wicks, sometimes it's just a big move. You don't know. Um, I'll go take a look at CAD CHF. Okay, CAD CHF looks like it's trying to break out here. Yeah, it does definitely look bullish. Looks like we're trying to clear that level on the left as well. So yeah, with CAD CHF, we spoke a lot in detail about this one yesterday. I do think if we do get a strong break past the high here at 0.632, there's definitely a lot of upside potential. The market's kind of in that next phase where it's probably going to get a bit of a pullback. We've been moving pretty well in this channel here. It's probably time for us to go through a bit of a retracement back up again. And a breakout of that consolidation to the upside, which we might get this week, probably will be the catalyst for that. And then, yeah, expecting us to push back to the high, just like we did on the last bullish move. So, yeah, a strong close above that on the daily chart is kind of what I'm looking for. Yesterday's close was decent. It's clearing the high. But I said yesterday as well, would be nice if we can close above that wick to kind of really put to bed any chance of us selling off again. If we see a strong close above that, most likely we are going to keep pushing here. So yeah, there's a lot of upside potential for CADs, and also breaking back above this low here as well. So yeah, I want to see a little bit more from this one, but I do agree CAD CHF is looking bullish. If we can push past the high, it could be the start of something really nice, back to the 0.658 region, really. So in terms of a swing trade, this has a lot of potential. Even if you're intra-week as well, intraday, kind of just looking to buy it on the way up. Yeah, I mean, you learn from your mistakes, I guess. Learn from your mistakes as well. Yeah, I do like it on the weekly charts too. Looking very, very bullish up there. Yeah, if it closes up there today, then yeah, we're probably going to see a lot more upside next week. The thing is with CAD CHF, I think it's positive swap as well. If you're buying CAD CHF, I'm pretty sure it's positive swap. So if you're looking for a long-term swing trade, you're happy to sit through a bit of sideways, which it can do sometimes. Let's look back at prior price action. It does have its moments where it does move sideways, and of course it has its moments where it flies as well. But if you don't mind sitting in some of those sideways, and of course you've got the range that we're just breaking out of as well. If you don't mind getting potentially caught up in one of those, it's not a bad proposition because positive swap, even if it does, even if it does sit on your hands a little bit and it's moving sideways, still making some money there. It's not any crazy, but yeah, at least even if you do take a break even, you still walk away with a little bit of profit, which you can't knock. You can't knock at all. So yeah, positive swaps always a nice bonus. Unlike my position in CADGen, which is negative swap really. So that's not particularly great. So I'm kind of hoping we can speed up a little bit. Let's not dilly dally, but we are doing that a little bit. Yeah, I will secure some profits here. So I hope that will just counteract the swap, and I'll just let the rest trail. But yeah, that's the reality of swing trading. You have to deal with negative swaps at some point. I know some traders only look to trade in line with positive swap, but then you do leave a lot of opportunity on the table, taking the opposite side. Yes, negative swap isn't great, but if you got a decent risk to reward, it just means that a small chunk of that is eaten up by swaps, and then you keep the rest of the profit really. So yeah, that's why I still go for negative swap trades, because the risk reward does cover it. It just means I won't be as profitable with the sells as I would be with the buys in the long run. Yeah, if you are sitting in the short and it is sideways, you are paying for the trade, and then potentially you can still suffer a loss as well. Yeah, there are some traders who would just only take advantage of positive swaps, which again does make sense in terms of cost of everything as well, because the positive swaps will pay for your commissions as well. It depends how long you're going to be in the trade, of course, and the lot size you're trading with. But if you're in there for quite a few days, your commission will be covered plus more. So that effectively makes a lot of sense, really. It just means you miss out all the short opportunities. But hey, if you trade enough pairs, you might not even need to take the sells in the first place. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They do sell off faster um, for the yen pairs. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for, because you can see the sells here for CAD yen a lot faster than the buys for um, in general. The sells hit a lot heavier, but then the swaps are a lot more as well, especially on the Wednesday. Wednesday, they don't mess around at all. But yeah, I mean, it's preference really. It's preference. There's multiple ways to tackle it. Some people just don't want to do that. Some people are happy with it. Like I said, I don't mind, especially for the positive risk reward. Um, it makes up for it. If you're scalping, probably you'd be in and out the same day anyway. But if you're intraday and you're holding overnight, might not be effective for that, especially on a Wednesday at least. But yeah, I don't mind it too much. But it can be a bit annoying sometimes. I can definitely agree to that. How's that momentum doing on the 4 hour chart? Okay, it's actually picking up a little bit. But yeah, my main focus really Friday is to see how the weekly candles close. That's always what I'm looking at, because it tells me which markets are stretched, which markets are testing some big levels, which are providing some big wicks, and that in turn could imply rejection for the next week, or potentially continuation if we're going to fill the wick as well. It depends where we're trading. But yeah, we're looking pretty bearish now, but in 10 hours, we can do a lot. We could potentially fill the wick, or we could close back inside the level there. So, both of those situations are very, very different and will make me think very differently next week. But yeah, I'm not quite sold on that yet until I see the candle close. Weekly chart on pound is looking exceptionally bearish. So yeah, despite kind of all this momentum here, I will be bearish 100%. We're due a pullback at some point, but looks like we're breaking the trend line as well. So yeah, I do think we'll keep falling there. Dollar CAD, how are we looking? Okay, dollar CAD looks good. It didn't close right back below the next candle, so it's still holding that area for now. I think if we see another strong close to the upside, that will really make me confident about the breakout. And then we could probably follow that all the way back to the highs up there. So there's a lot of upside for dollar CAD if we are really going to get the break of that level. If we're not messing around and going to get the break, there's upside potential. Similar to Euro USD as well, with the downside potential back to 0.96. If you do clear that low, then I'm expecting us to push there. It's a similar move for dollar CAD. In terms of Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar, I'm not really a big fan of these guys. Not a lot of room to work with, and they do have a lot of big levels which they're coming to test pretty soon. So I'm not as keen with the shorts or the longs really. Maybe we are going to push to the lows down here. That would be interesting. In terms of dollar CHF, don't really have much to say with this one. I'm not interested in trading dollar CHF at all. A lot of people haven't been recommending for me to look at dollar CHF. It's not the most popular pair in the world, but normally do get quite a few requests. But yeah, I can't really remember the last person requesting dollar CHF. And I don't blame them. I'm not really looking at it either. It's been pretty bullish though, so there has been some nice momentum. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the dollar pairs. And of course, you've got USD JPY, which are kind of class with the yen pairs now, because I see more traction with the yen. But to be honest, dollar's been performing pretty well and it's been pushing too. But I'm not quite sold on the buys either with this one. And then, of course, your gold and your silver, which is still flying. Also with gold. And then let me take a look at some of the yen pairs, weekly candle closures. CAD yen, we're leaving that wick to the upside, which is essential. So that's a really nice wick. And we're pretty much holding that area there. So what I'm looking at for next week is maybe another wick as well to the upside. Just don't take out that high there, because that's where my stop loss is. And then maybe we see that bearish close. And then if we get a bearish close like that next week, that's game over. We're probably going to get a really big sell. And at that point, I might even try to see if I can get some additional positions. Euro yen looking really good as well. Yeah, it's like back-to-back shooting star candles. Nice wick to the upside, pull back, close bearish. Another big wick to the upside, push down. Looks like it's going to close bearish. This one with even more momentum. We're holding onto that head and shoulder level really well. So yeah, I think it's lights out for Euro yen there. Of course, Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, I think these guys are just in their ranges, so can't really read too much into the candlesticks here in the range, just more wicks up and down. New Zealand yen, I think the same situation as well, just inside the range. Although I do like the close there, nicely bearish, big wick to the upside, closing a shooting star. So I think the breakout is imminent now with New Zealand yen because of that close, if it does close like that in the evening. But yeah, I do think the breakout is going to happen pretty soon. And then, of course, you got your lovely pound yen. How's this one closing? Oh, that's closing nice. Let me get rid of my drawings so you see a bit clearer. Yeah, nice shooting star candle. That probably will take us down. The only thing about pound yen is we do have some obstacles here, which might be a little bit annoying, but there is potential back to that low. If this is our drop, and if this is the first lower high, which I think it could be, again, looking at that monthly chart, which I've been talking a lot about, we've just about pinched that high. Last time we did this in a similar fashion, we pinched that high. What did we see? A nice reaction, a little bit up move, collapse. Nice reaction, a little bit of an up move, collapse. Sometimes history does repeat itself, and if it does, it looks like it's going to repeat itself to a T almost. Just pinch the high, drop, pinch the high, drop. I wonder what would be the situation that would cause such a move like this, though. Because, of course, this was 2008, which is a crazy market crash. You need something similar of that fashion to get that move. I think this was Brexit, 2016. Yeah, this was Brexit as well, which is something huge too. So to see some momentum like that, you need some huge type of catalyst to get us going. In terms of the technicals, it fits the mold to a T, but fundamentally, you need something to happen, which is a bit scary to be fair, because yeah, I don't want anything bad to happen, but I don't know. The market's a weird place. But yeah, in terms of the technicals, it's looking like we're going to sell off here. So yeah, looking to see if we do get a push. All right, take care, everyone. Have a good one. We'll see you next week. Um, Eric, what's up? CAD a little stronger because yeah. Euro and pound have been pretty weak. We just had some news this morning with euro and pounds. I mean, euro and pound have been pretty weak most of the week, and CAD's been pretty strong as well. But the news that came out this morning really made euro and pound very weak compared to CAD and Aussie. That is. Um, but yeah, I do expect yen strength just to be the overall dominant currency in those yen pairs. So despite CAD being a little bit strong, despite Aussie being a bit strong, I do think eventually we're going to see that those pairs drop. It just might not be as quick as euro or as pound, unfortunately. So those are probably, in hindsight, the better pairs to trade, euro and pound. But hey, if CAD yen eventually does drop, I'm not going to complain. Yeah, I mean, well, in terms of Aussie dollar and I mean Aussie yen, in terms of the technical analysis, we're still kind of in the range really. So it's still a noisy place. I think the key thing, if you're looking at trading Aussie yen, is the break of this low here, 99.5. If that breaks, you should be in the money. Price is probably going to see a lot of momentum because we've been consolidating for a while. So a breakout is pretty likely. And when the breakout happens, you're probably going to see a really nice trend. So yeah, 99.5. Aussie just not that weak right now, but don't worry, yen strength will most likely step in. If it doesn't, manage your risk, of course. But if it does, that break will be a really nice one. Ben, yeah, that's true as well. It might be a little bit below the top before move to the downside. I could see that happening. Blessing Euro USD, dollar yen, Euro yen. Okay, I'll go through Euro USD and dollar yen. I just went through Euro yen. Ben, don't say out loud yet. Of course not, because that will make it a real possibility. But I'm not gonna lie, you are. I mean, something like that would cause that, which is scary, which is why I said it's scary, because I don't want anything to happen. Because I feel like for something like a Brexit, I mean, what you said there is way worse than Brexit, of course, but something like that would cause us to tank 100%. So yeah, scary times, I must say. That's the thing about the charts. Although you're trying to make a profit, but real world stuff happens, and yeah, it's scary. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, I'll quickly go for Euro USD and dollar yen. So yeah, Euro USD looking very bearish. As I said, I don't really have a setup really right now with Euro dollar. I'm just waiting to see how the weekly candle does close. Because if we do pull back, let's say we close inside this range here on Friday, at the end of Friday, then next week I'm actually looking for some upside really for euro because that just leaves a big wick, taking out a lot of liquidity there. The market's still very, very stretched to the downside, very overextended. So it's due a pullback, a decent pullback at some point. This is the only pullback we've had just before the US election. So I do think upside is still on the cards, but the weekly time frame will paint the picture. If we do pull back inside the range, then there could be some nice setups on the 4-hour chart, to take it to the upside next week, which we'll go into detail with. If we don't do that and we close really bearish, say we fill the wick some more, then we're probably going to keep selling off. To be honest, might see some pullbacks intraday to retest the low, but overall, there's a lot of downside for euro to push into. So I'm kind of waiting for the weekend to close before before cementing that bias. And in terms of dollar yen as well, we're trading at a nice area. I still think the buyers look okay with dollar yen. Um, I'm not quite convinced because I'm pretty bearish on the yen pairs, but we are still respecting structure, still pretty consistent with all the higher lows. So if that's the case, could see another one form as well. So the buys look okay there with dollar yen. I just wouldn't trade it because I'm bearish on the yen pairs, so I wouldn't want to go against my bias. But in terms of isolating dollar yen and looking specifically at that price action, we are still seeing higher highs and higher lows. So a push back to here, I think, is a pretty reasonable trade. And if you get to there, probably going to get to there anyway. And if you want to stop out, stop losses here makes sense. If we break through that, we're probably going to sell off anyway. And then we can start to talk about some shorts on the way down. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with those pairs. Okay, Ben, take care, my man. Have a good one. We'll catch you next week. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying this stream, finding it useful, informative, educational, please drop a like on the stream. It does really help out. And I really do appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who has liked the stream so far. And of course, make sure you do subscribe to the channel as well and hit the bell whilst you're at it so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But guys, you have actually come up to the end of the stream. I do appreciate everyone tuning in this week. We will be live again next week as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time every weekday. So we'll see you guys there. Yeah, if I do make any updates to my positions or if I do get into a new trade, I'll let you know in the Telegram. But yeah, probably won't take any more trades this week. Just see what happens with CAD, Yen, and Silver. But we'll have the analysis up on Saturday as always. So keep an eye out for the analysis. I'll be describing what I'm looking at next week and what the plan is. So keep a lookout for the analysis on Saturday. But guys, thank you for tuning in. Have a great week. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.